Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is JessieLynnsRibbons. So this is technically part 2. Where I last left off, some weirdo was asking me a question.
Yeah, who was that?
Who was that?
Ugh.
So what was the question?
Oh, I was the weirdo.
He was a weirdo.
So the question that I had asked was, if you could go back in time, knowing what you know now, so all the way back to the beginning of your treatment plan.
Okay.
And you knew everything about radiation and the mastectomies, lumpectomies, chemo, everything. What would you have done differently for yourself because of what you learned going through this that you didn't get told?
Okay, so originally my surgeon wanted to do the lumpectomy because it was, what's the correct word for it? The
least invasive.
Least invasive, and she wanted to save the breast. So I said okay. I wasn't told anything else more about it or behind it. For reoccurrence purposes, I didn't get that percentage, so I didn't know anything. And so I went in and got my lumpectomy. You guys saw all that information. And when I went for my post-op, come to find out that if I would have gotten, so with a, let me go back. With a lumpectomy, you have to get radiation after, for at least for triple negative, and which is what I am. Now, if I would have gotten a double mastectomy, I wouldn't have needed radiation at all. So, for John's question, after knowing what I know now from radiology and from my breast surgeon, it's no one's fault really. She couldn't tell me that information, and I didn't meet with radiology yet. So, I mean, it is what it is. I personally would have chosen a double mastectomy, so my recurrence rate would have been even lower. So each thing that you do, treatment-wise, lowers your reoccurrence rate or raises it, depending on what you choose. And then overall, your reoccurrence rate, you have like a percentage when you're fully done with treatment. So I won't know that until I'm, down the line when I'm done. But, again, as for John's question, I did mention this before in a previous video. I think it might have been the last one or the one before that. I'm not really sure. I got squirrel brain. But I am going to do a double mastectomy next year. So it's not a if or possibly, it's a I'm definitely doing it. I just have to wait 3 months from the time I'm done with radiation. And if I do have to get Keytruda, which I still don't know yet, I'm still waiting for my Signatera test to come back, then I'll have to wait a year from when I stop Keytruda. So 3 months from radiation, and then when I stop Keytruda. So it would probably be at most by 2027 when I would most likely get my double mastectomy. I'm hoping for next year, but I don't know. So I guess we'll see. But I will be getting that, so it will drop my reoccurrence rate. So yes, I still have to get the radiation. It really sucks because I'm going to be getting a double mastectomy anyways. And I have already talked to my breast surgeon about it. She's fine with it. But, I mean, it all could have been, not an issue if I would have known this all prior. And I could have just had the double mastectomy right away. But, I mean, it is what it is. Life happens. So, yeah. What else you got for me? He has a bunch of stuff for me here.
Oh, I do?
You said you had questions. You got questions? Why? You told me you had questions. I'm going to eat my burger.
So, you were really nervous when you went into radiation. And you had, seen a bunch of things on Dr. Google. And
don't go to Dr. Google.
And no matter how many times you said don't go to Dr. Google, you kept going to Dr. Google. So my question is, for everybody else out there, you have, a doctor that doesn't give you answers in the way that you want, and then you go to the internet and you find answers, but they may not be the correct answers or the answers that are right for you.
Okay.
What's your advice for people that go through that? Because every doctor is different. Every experience through cancer journey is different. What would your advice to somebody that struggles with getting information be?
I would say stick to the correct websites. So all the ones that end with isn't it .org?
.org, .edu.
All the ones that end in .org or edu.
Gov.
.gov. I would say always second, third opinion. And if you see something on Google, Dr. Google, talk to your doctor about what you read and what you saw. And if, they don't agree with it or they do agree with it, still talk to that second doctor and see what they say as well, because you never know. And you want the best possible outcome when it comes to your treatment, because you're your person. You're not somebody else. You're not, everyone can be treated for, like, for example, my case was Keynote 522. Okay, so you can look it up. It will tell you what my treatment plan should have been. And I didn't have to do it the exact way it was supposed to be. Like some people I do know, they did theirs the correct way. I didn't have to, because my response was extremely fast, extremely quick, and everything else, it just kind of fell into place. Now, not everyone's like that, so I would definitely I lost track of my thought. Have you ever had that where you're talking about something and then you kind of lose track of what you're saying? Damn, I hate when that happens. This never used to happen to me. But I would say you can't always expect to stay on a specific treatment plan. Everything changes. So if you want to know information, go at the information one treatment at a time. Don't try to learn about something all at once from Dr. Google, from the doctor. Do it one step at a time, because it can change. Every moment can change. Week by week it can change. So that's, I guess, my answer for that, even though I forgot and had a squirrel moment. But it happens. Oops.
All right, one of the most important questions that I think I've ever learned going through this process with you.
Okay.
What is the importance of that relationship you have with your care team? Because you remember what it was like at the very, very beginning, and the journey and the stress and the struggles and strife that we went through to get to where we are now.
Okay. I had an oncologist at a different hospital, and we did not mesh. She just wanted to push everything at me, and I wasn't like that. Like, I needed time. And I didn't like what she had to say. She didn't care what I had to say. So I went for a second opinion, and I went to a different hospital. And this hospital, I meshed very well with the oncologist. Everything worked out great. She cared about what I had to say, but she didn't necessarily like that I didn't agree. But she didn't she pushed, but she didn't over push. Like, she'd be like, okay, well, I want you to, as you guys know, I want you to do AC. Well, I said no. And she was like, okay, well, how about we do surgery, and then after surgery we'll talk more about AC. I had my surgery, came back, I reached PCR, and I didn't need AC. And my doctors, my breast surgeon and my oncologist took it to a panel, and everyone was kind of iffy on both, but really at the end of the day, some didn't think I didn't even need it, and it was really up to me. So she pushed one more time, and then after that she's like, okay, You don't want to do it, that's fine. Then she goes, you know what, I really don't think you need it, plus the toxicity. And she let it go. And then she brought up Keytruda. And I'm like, ugh. And so I was like, no, I want a second opinion. So I personally, with John, my second opinion was Signatera. And between the test of Signatera that I'm still waiting on the results, and asking again through my breast surgeon for another panel on my case, they also gave me it was like split 50-50. 50%, 50 of them were like not 50 of them, but 50% of them were like, she should do it. And then the other 50% were like, they're halves on it. Like, maybe she should, maybe she shouldn't. But it's really up to her at this point, because there's nothing going on in her. So the only thing that can really tell us anything is Signatera. Now, yes, there is false positive, false negatives, but that's why you test, and then you go and you retest, and you make sure that those match, and that's how you know. So right now, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wait and go off of that. That's going to be my second opinion. Technically I had 3, but I'm going off of my second one, which was the one that me and John chose before we asked for the panel.
So with specifically to your breast surgeon,
okay,
you have an amazing relationship with her, to the point of where you said it doesn't matter what's going on over the next couple years, that's where we're going. So wherever we move, that's where you're going to go and see. Not that we have any plans on moving, but, if some life would take us somewhere else, you have that relationship with her.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that relationship with her that important?
So my breast surgeon, I love her. She is the most sweetest woman, most caring woman I've ever met. I could call her about an issue going on with oncology, with radiation, with my infusion, and she'll listen to me. She always gives me her ear. It doesn't matter. But when I first met her, she took things very slow with me. She didn't force anything. And then when I saw her the second time, I expressed to her that I don't want to do chemo. And she looked me straight in the eye and she goes, I'm not going to force you to do chemo. That's not my department. But what I can say is it would break my heart if you didn't do any type of treatment, especially chemo, especially because you have young children and a husband and a family. And it would really break my heart. And that devastation on her face just really, it ate at me, and it made me think, and it made me think hard. And that's where my bond with her grew, because she actually cared more about the patient than the money and everything else. Because not that all doctors do, because there's amazing doctors out there, but some, they just care about the money. But her, I can tell you straight up, it's not about that. She cares about her patients, each and every one of them. She went on vacation and came back, and I was the first person for surgery the day after she got back home from vacation. And she was still, cheery, and amazing, and it was like it was nothing. And I love her. That was why. But I think that's all the questions for now. Thanks for coming at me with all that. I'm sorry, this is probably long again, but yeah. So I hope everyone, I'm gonna cut it here, you guys. I'm sorry. It's just, I need to finish my food, and I can't talk and eat. I don't know how people do it. Normally when we and John would do like mukbangs, I always say it wrong. He'll either do most of the talking, and then I'll eat, and then I'll do most of the talking, and then he'll eat. So it's a lot harder when it's me with you guys. But I hope everyone has a great day or great night, depending on where you are, and you all stay safe. All right, bye guys. Love you.